Hey, alright, we're live, we're going live. Alright, it's Griever, your host for the most. Griever, as always, alongside Ken Negus. For those of you who don't know, for those of you only listening in, we have our guard dog Negus over here, our lion guard dog. And, how are ya? How is everybody doing? Yeah, we're bitch moaning and complaining again. It's a podcast number 2. We're going to talk about being broke. We're going to talk about sports. And we're going to talk about Nia. We're going to talk about Nia D. Hemmings a little bit because that man is an absolute legend. So, let's get right underway with being broke. This is going to be a shorter podcast because it's being done at like 2:45 in the morning. Nobody is up for this shit. So I doubt I'm going to get any type of live stream whatsoever. I doubt I'm going to get any type of chat going. So that being said, we're just going to get right underway with the topic. So what do I want to talk about? Well, I just want to bitch. I just want to bitch a little bit, to be honest with you. Had a bit of a up roller coaster of a day. Not gonna lie to you guys. Because what happened was, here's the deal. So I set myself up to finally get the final part of the Christmas decorations done, right? Like the outside lights, you know? Like, and I go all out, ladies and gentlemen. I don't just do one string across the roof line and call it done. No. I do candles in the windows. I do fucking garland lights across the porch. I do the fucking extension cords. I do the whole 9 yards, right? I have a beautiful fucking winter wonderland of a fucking house. Now, to get into the mood to do that in November, little bit of a wow. You know what I'm saying? So, finally got the urge to do it. And finally finished it off, right? So what we ended up doing was we finished it, right? We finished it. Well, I finished it, I should say. It was fine. And then I realized that there was not enough blue candelabras. Like, what I do multicolor for Christmas, right? I would really prefer to be a red, white, and green house, but unfortunately, it's what I got, it's what's in the repertoire, and I'm broke. So, going off on the line that I'm broke, here we go. So, I'm sitting back and I'm going, alright. And for some reason, for some fucked up reason, my brothers experienced this, my neighbors experienced this. On multicolor LED strings, the blue ones always go first. I don't know why. The red, the greens, the yellows, the purples, the whatever, oranges, the pinks, they all stay fine. The blues go first. Can anybody explain it? I don't know. I'm an electrician and I can't fucking explain it. It makes no sense to me. They're all getting the exact same wattage at the exact same type of LED. But the blues go first. So what did I do? Proactive. Went out, found the exact same type of LED, bought a whole new string of 25 LEDs in blue, or replace them. Kidneys, guys. Kidneys. $16. I don't need to replace strings for a couple more years until the wife decides she doesn't like multicolor anymore. It's fine. It's emotional, but it's fine. Right? So, yeah. So that was the first stage of my day. Right? It was successful. And now I better check in with the chat because I see the chat's actually moving for a change. Joseph. Oh, hi, Joseph. You're in here. He says, hey, Griever, sorry to hear you're not doing good in your personal life. Yeah, it sucks, man, but it happens. Hence the podcast. Hope things get better. So do I. Who's Nia? Nia is Nia D. Hemmings, which, by the way, fuck, I would be remiss not to link him in the description. That would be an atrocity. Hold on a minute. Nadi Hemmings. He's the GOAT. He's my boy. He's my man. He covers a lot of things that I don't cover. But he's a boss ass bitch. So definitely go check him out. There we go. He's back now in the description. So Naya is Naya is my guy. Naya is the only person I've ever met other than my wife online that has my actual phone number and knows my real name. Like those two combined. Naya is my guy. Naya is he's an amazing man. And we'll talk about Naya in a little bit. Because that's what I want to talk about. Naya being so great. And actually, we should talk about Grim a little bit within that. Because Grim had a lot to do with that. So yeah, we're going to actually edit this. And we're going to change it to... and... Grim plus Naya. Because Grim had a lot to do with what I want to talk about today. I believe... Does he spell his name with 2 M's or 1? I'm not sure. I'm going to put it... I'll put it as 1 for now, but... I'd like to get those two boys back into a podcast. That'd be solid. That'd be great. Those guys would go off on each other, and I'd go off on them, and it'd be fantastic. But so yeah. So at the end of the day, what ended up happening was, I'm kind of broke. I found out today that like I've been working on speakers, right? I've been working on getting my wife some really nice speakers, and I got them, and it's fantastic. But they cost me a little bit more money than they're supposed to, about $150 to $170 worth more. No big deal, right? But then I found out today, after buying them, installing them like 3 weeks ago, okay? They, first off, Cyber Monday has them for a better deal. And also, my friend who recommended the speakers in the first place, who thought he couldn't get this discount before the end of the year, finally got his discount of 40% off. So I'm out like not $100, not $50. I'm out like $350 that I could have just waited on. You know what I'm saying? So not only could I not afford the speakers in the first place because I'm a broke ass bitch, but also like I made an impulse decision and now it fucked me. Now granted, as my father just I went to my parents' house and I talked to them a little bit about this, and my old man had some good reasoning. He said, listen, you got a truck, right? And I said, yeah. He goes, you had a gas. I said, sure. He goes, you go and fill it up tonight. Tomorrow gas is half the price. You lost. You gonna cry? So I was like, good point. Good point. I could not predict the fact that my buddy would get the code in time for Christmas, because the whole idea of these speakers, they were a Christmas gift to my wife, right? Having surround sound throughout the upper floor of the house. I worked tirelessly. I worked for 20 hours. I walked through that attic. I ran the wire. I'm an electrician and all that stuff. I did all this stuff. I made it all pretty. I mounted the shelves. I bought the shelves. Bought the speakers. I made it all gorgeous per, right? So the fact that I'm minus one speaker, because I originally wanted to buy 5 and I'm left with 4. And the fact that I could have gotten the 4 for $100 less. At the end of the day, it's no different than gas prices. You fill up when you need to, because you don't know what the future's going to hold. What happens if the discount code never came in? What if Cyber Monday, sure, Cyber Monday says $200 a speaker, but then I can't get them until January 7th. Then that destroys the entire point of buying the speakers in the first place, which is a Christmas surprise to my wife when she gets here, I assume a week before Christmas. So I think we put monetary gain on things a little too much. And yes, it hurts because when you're broke, this is why the first topic is broke. When you're broke, every penny counts. Like when you pour a beer down the sink, you're thinking, you goddamn piece of shit. It's like, or you spill a beer, you waste a piece of chicken that didn't taste so good, you fucking do this. Every single cent seems to count. When you're rich, or when you're doing okay, not even when you're rich, when you're doing okay, when you have money in the bank, and like you're not worried about your mortgage payment coming out next month, then spilled beer does not bother you. It bothers you when you're broke. And now that's how I know I'm broke, because it bothers me. A spilled beer bothers me. A spilled, any cent wasted bothers me. The fact that I bought beer bothers me. I should not have bought beer last week. You know what I'm saying? Because can I afford it? Yes. But I should put that money towards better things. I should not buy beer this week. Or last week, which is from this week. I should not buy beer this week. I should save it. Let it accumulate. Especially since I'm behind on paychecks. I should absolutely be doing that. And yet for some reason I am not doing that. And that, I think, is the trap that broke people get into. I think people who are actually broke end up in a spiral of, well, I'm not going to get out of it, so I might as well buy that weed. I might as well buy that heroin. I might as well buy that case of beer. I might as well buy that video game, that Magic the Gathering cards. I might as well buy the new iPhone. Every time they get a paycheck, they spend it because they don't think, they see their $10,000 credit card debt and they have no reason to get out of it. Visa isn't going to come and whack them. They're going to add interest forever. But what do they care? They'll cancel that credit card and they'll come up with a new one. I think that's a terrible mindset to get into, though it happens. And I saw it happen to a lot of my friends in my early 20s, and I think it's slowly, not to the degree of course, canceling credit cards or not paying my bills. I have never missed a bill payment, and I refuse to start now. But I can see it happening. I can see how easy it was for broke people to get into that situation. Because no one wants to ask for a handout. No one wants to say, hey, I'm in trouble, while also eating a steak dinner and having a beer. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to go to their family, their friends, or anybody like that while still enjoying a glass of wine and a steak. Nobody's willing to do that. So even if the family member or the friend totally understands, like, you already had that beer bought and blah, blah, blah. You get deals from the liquor store. Or, hey, I know you keep this shit in your freezer for 6 months. It's irrelevant. You feel and look like and you should. You should. You feel like a piece of shit. That's the way it goes. So that's what it's like being broke. Like, I don't know what it's like to be homeless. I don't know what it's like to be actual poor. But I know what it means to be broke. Because I'm broke. I have no money. I can spend it. Sure. But I worry about every single day until that bill comes. Just because you have a credit card that's worth $5,000 doesn't mean you can pay it off in 15 days. That's what broke is. Poor and homeless is a totally different topic. Being broke or being house poor is what I am right now. Being broke is living in middle class lifestyle but having no money. Literally no money. That's what it's about. And it sucks. It really sucks. And I'm not here to tell you guys it gets any better. I'm not telling you guys how to get out of it because I'm in it right now and I don't know how to get out of it. I know the right way to get out of it would be to stop spending every dime. To live out of my fucking cupboards. For food. Never buy a McDonald's coffee ever again. Not that I drink McDonald's coffee. Fuck that. And never buy beer. Don't buy beer. Right? Because that shit's expensive as fuck. But then you're living a life where you live to work. Not work to live. That's a bit of a issue as far as I'm concerned. It's a bit of an issue. Because it'd be very easy to say that. And I've done it for a week, 2. But then all of a sudden, Friday comes around and you buy yourself a case of beer. And then you look at that, $4 off those lamb chops. So I'll buy those. And you're thinking, alright, it's only $30. And you've been good for 2 weeks, right? Haven't spent a dime. Meanwhile, your credit card debt is still in the $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, right? But you're thinking to yourself, these are minor purchases. Not even consider the implication that they are going to add up. And that's the problem with the whole cold turkey cutoff. Don't spend anything. It's never going to work. Joseph said, that is why I'm careful when I spend money because I'm afraid of going broke or worse, homeless. It's true, Joseph. Joseph said, whenever I see something I really like, I ask myself, do I really need it now? And that is the mindset of a young man. And I've had that mindset. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. Is that a young man eventually becomes a grown man. And a grown man owns a house. Like I do. Has a lawn, has property, has a mortgage. He also probably owns a vehicle or 2. He also has to pay for insurance. He also has to pay for property tax. He also has to pay his own taxes. Then he also has to pay for this, that, and the other thing. All of a sudden, the young man became an adult man, who became a grown man, doesn't have so much money anymore. When I was a young man, I was 25. As an adult man, I was 28. The problem was, at 28, I still lived like I was a young man. And had I been smarter, might have saved pennies a little quicker. So my only advice to everyone here listening to the podcast is, if you are anywhere below the age of 30, then save your goddamn motherfucking pennies. Save them. There's no reason not to. What reason are you going to explain to me? You want to go out to the club with your friends? Fuck that shit. You don't need to do that every Saturday. You can do it every second Saturday. You're still not going to miss out on anything. You're going to get AIDS one more time from one more fucking trashy girl? Like, fuck off. Like, seriously. What are you doing? The only reason you're going to the club so much is you want to get laid, right? And the only reason you want to get laid is because you're horny. Because you're young. And then, inevitably, you end up hooking with the wrong chick and you get something. Hopefully it's only chlamydia, because that shit's curable. But it could be something worse. Because no young man is smart enough to use a fucking condom. So then you're into that. So my argument bleeding into the broke thing is, stop doing that. Go out once a month, twice a month at best. Not every night. Not every Friday and every Saturday. Because we all know you're recuperating from Friday because you're hungover. So all you do is start drinking by 4 p.m. and then you get back into the game. Yeah. We've all been there. We invented it. Trust me. My grandparents invented that shit. You're not special. Trust me. That's not a new trick. So you're going to go out there and you're going to do the same tricks that your grandparents did in 1945? Or are you going to be an adult about shit and actually act like an adult and start treating your body properly and then maybe saving your pennies? I know that the world sucks right now, but the world is crying for jobs. I know they're minimum wage. But if you have the opportunity, if you're living with your parents, you have the best gig in the world if you're living with your parents right now. Because you can bank your money. Work as many shifts as you can, especially the night shift. Take the goddamn night shifts. They pay and a half at a lot of these gigs. Bank your money. Do it properly. So when you do have to move out, you have something. Purple Tape is in here and says, now throw kids into the equation. Exactly. Boom. Purple Tape adding another problem into the equation. You add kids into the situation. Now you got to provide for them. Well, there's a few problems leading up to that. Because if you weren't in a fully college level job or a career that was going to set you on the path to a level that was going to make money, why the fuck did you not wear a condom? And why the fuck did she not have birth control? It's not on the male. It's always on both. Takes two to tango. They both fucked up. She could have been on the pill. She also had the morning after pill. She had 100 methods to do it. And the guy also could choose to not fuck her, to pull out, to fucking wear a condom. There was a million reasons. So you add kids into the mix. Automatically, if you're not prepared to have kids, you have to question, why the fuck did they end up having kids? And then there's the whole abortion thing, which is a whole nother debate, but yeah, there's an There are so many things going on right there. And then you add kids into the mix. Jesus. Like, as an established adult right now, if I had kids, I'd be fine. I'd be broke. I'd be as broke or more broke than I am now, but I'd be okay. I could ask for help. It would suck. It would hurt my pride, but I could ask for help. Simple. Plain and simple. I would ask for help. It's 2022, people. Stop pretending like you don't know a couple of millionaires down the road or a couple of millionaires that your daddy plays golf with. Stop pretending that. Go ask them for help. I know exactly who I would ask for help right now. If I was literally down and out, I'm not going to let my kids not eat because I can't make ends meet. I'm going to go to them and be like, hey, I don't want to go to the bank. I want to go to you guys. Can I get like $10,000? Help me out for a few months. I'll pay you back when I can. No interest, right? They'd be totally good with it. You know, because that's what friends do. That's called friends of the family. Not that weird Jeffrey Dahmer level show that's going on in HBO or whatever the fuck it is. So, yeah, like, you need to be able to do that, I think. You really do. Joseph said, I'm definitely going to stay single or at least not go raw until I'm 100% sure I can be stable. Exactly. That's great advice. Now, this man never used a rubber. As an idiot. Thankfully, don't have a kid out of it. But an idiot nonetheless. So, the realist Middle said, only if my sister followed that advice. See? And now we have more people living off the welfare. Once again, the welfare thing was invented for true homeless people. Not people who chose to get knocked up and fucked up at 17 and not ever get a job or an education. You know? Joseph said, the realist Mandela, I want to say something to add to that, and just said, but I'm afraid karma will get me. It is what it is, man. So, yeah. So that's all about being broke. I guess that's a bit of my life lesson segment on the thing. And once again, you guys can also write in. If you guys want to write in, leave a note. Add it at Griever and mention podcast. Just say at Griever podcast in my Discord. The link is in, of course, the description box. You can always add a request for something for me to read aloud in the next podcast, and I'll be more than willing to read it and give you my thoughts on it or my advice. By the way, we have 7 people in here and only 1 like. I don't get why the fuck that is. Come on, people. You've been listening to me bitch, moan, and complain for fucking half an hour. You can fucking hit the like button too. It's not that hard. Know what I'm saying? Just said, I mean, I should or I should not say it. I mean, it's up to you. Oh wow, look at that. The moment I ask for some likes, I lose 3 viewers, but I get 1 like. Fan-fucking-tastic. Alright, so the next segment we're going to talk about is going to bore everyone. Let's talk about sports. We're going to talk about sports. But we're only going to talk about it for a quick minute. We're only going to talk about the fact that somehow the Indianapolis Colts lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's insane. That's crazy. It wouldn't have won me the week for football, but it's what the fuck? How the Steelers won that? The Colts just really shit the bed. Everyone thought with the new head coach they would do something, but they're not doing anything remotely close to what people thought they would do. It's absolutely horrendous. It's absolutely atrocious, honestly. So yeah, and I'm not gonna win the week, unfortunately. I did good in the week. I did good. I think I got double points, but I'm not going to win the week. I'm gonna be a couple points behind for that for sure. So looking forward to next week, I guess, when it comes to sports. Goddamn. But the Cowboys won, so woohoo! Cowboys won it. And then last segment, why don't we talk about, because once again, these podcasts aren't meant to, these are not technically streams. They're live, and I stream the camera, but they're not meant to be. They're meant to be podcasts. So, I could do these without the camera if I felt like it. I should probably link up with like Spotify or some shit. Yeah, so let's talk about Grim and Naya. Grim Reaper and Naya D. Hemmings. So, Grim Reaper was when I had a lot of fans and a lot of friends. Not so many friends, but a lot of fans when I first started YouTube. This was back in the Bleach days and the 7 Deadly Sins early days. And then I lost my channel. I got a quick rundown. I was on my honeymoon. I got all the notifications. Day 2, day 3. And guess what? I didn't check my email while I was on my fucking honeymoon. So, unfortunately, as of 2018, I lost my goddamn channel because I couldn't. Had I been able to put in the request to fight the first offense, maybe I would have kept my channel. Now, I had about 1,000 subscribers, maybe 1,200 at best, by the time the channel was deleted. I don't really know. I don't remember at this point. It was 4 digits. It wasn't 2,000 or anything crazy. So, just after I got back from my honeymoon and my wife went back to California for a little bit to visit her parents, I said, well, break some eggs, make some omelets. So, boom, I went right back to the frying pan and started cooking. And I met Grim Reaper shortly thereafter. And he said, why don't you join my podcast? We're talking about 7 Deadly Sins. And it was absolutely a fantastic ride. I actually miss those boys. Keisha Prime, Sundown Rider. Actually, Keisha and I tried to start a podcast of our own. It wasn't very popular, but we tried to start a podcast of our own, talking about all the manga chapters that came out. It was probably my fault, but we tried a podcast for about 7 to 8 episodes. Sundown Rider, Naya D. Hemmings, Grim Reaper, of course, being the host. A couple other cats in there once in a while. It was a fantastic time. The Boar's Hat podcast, and I look back fondly on those memories of the Boar's Hat podcast. It was a fundamentally great time for me, and especially since I had just lost my channel. 1,000 strong, gone. No Twitter, no Discord. Discord wasn't there yet. It was just coming into the fold. But no Reddit, no Twitter, no way of reaching out. I still am missing fans that would comment on every video. They're gone. I haven't seen their user since. Very unfortunate. Losing them like that. So then this came along and it was absolutely fantastic. And then I learned about Discord through the Boar's Hat podcast. And I decided to start my own podcast. There was a little bit of drama between Grim and I. We had differing opinions on a lot of things. One 7 Seven Deadly Sins was over, there was a lot of controversy and there was a lot of toxicity going on. Not gonna lie. Sometimes in good fun, other times a little spiteful. So in the end of the day, instead of like hashing out and having some stupid debate with Grimm, I decided to leave on good terms, and I still remain a member of his Discord, and anytime he reaches out to me, I always say, "Hey man, how you doing?" You know what I mean? So, we're still on good terms as far as I'm concerned. And if he ever invited me to a podcast, I'd totally show up with bells, jingling. So that happened. And then my own Discord happened as a result of that, because I still wanted to talk to a lot of certain people on Grimm's Discord, but I didn't want to lose this camaraderie I had gained from Discord. I'd first learned about Discord through Grimm, but at the same time, I wanted to leave the toxicity of his particular server at the time, so I ended up asking some people who were more versed to make my server for me, and they made my server. And that was Greek, Chubb, and Vib Have. Some of you might know Vib from One Punch Man and Record of Ragnarok. He does a lot of I don't know which part. He does the typesetting or something like that for a lot of the chapters we read. You'd have to ask him, but he made that. And then once again, meeting. So that's how that all happened. And then now I want to talk about, and we'll just jump quickly into the chat so you guys don't get too bored with my rambling. There's only one thing. Purple Tape there. Are you interested in the World Cup? Not at all. I know Canada lost. It does not affect me one bit. It's not hockey, and it's not NFL football. I do not care. But I do know Canada lost is what it is. I do not care about soccer. So, anyways, so now to the last part. Talked about Grimm there a little bit. And shout out to Grimm. Love the man. I wish I'd talked to him more. I really do. I should jump in. You know what? I should check in on him more when I have more time. I should just jump in. I don't give a fuck if he's recording or whatever. I should just jump and be like, "Hey, motherfucker, how you doing?" You know? I should probably do that. Because I haven't properly spoken to Grimm in almost a year now. More than a year. God damn. And that feels like way too long, you know? It's not like there's any bad blood. I don't think there's bad blood between us, but, when you haven't spoken to someone in a long time, you sort of feel awkward speaking to them again. So, I really think I should just jump into one of his streams or podcasts or something. One of the nonsensical ones, you know what I mean? I'll have to watch out for one. But that leads us into Naya D. Hemmings. See, I met Naya through the Boar's Hat podcast. And then Naya and I became, I would like to say, very good friends. We share a lot of things in common. We're both Canadian. We're both intelligent to a degree. We have similar tastes, but also we have similar ideas about what makes a manga good, but we also have very differing tastes. How's that? And he's the only YouTuber, he's the only person I've met online other than my wife who actually has my phone number. And he and I have texted back and forth on our private numbers before. Like outside of Discord and YouTube, we text each other and we'd be like, "Hey man, how you doing?" That kind of shit. And that's a really great camaraderie that I really enjoy. And I love the Boar's Hat podcast for a lot of reasons. But I could never have imagined having such a great friend like Naya, who also boosted me to 400 subscribers on my new channel, on this channel. He went on Twitch and he boosted me to 400 at the time when the Boar's Head podcast was all the rage. And he has been nothing but a gentleman and a connoisseur and an amazing captain of elegance going forward. And I just really want to say thank you very much to both Grim Reaper and Nia D. Hemmings for both accepting me, for Grim for accepting me very quickly, even though I was fresh to the podcast and I talked way too much, and I still do that to this day. I'm a big talker. I've learned. I'm more learned now to sort of shut up and let others talk. But Grim would always DM me and say, "Hey man, you're talking too much." He would give me the pointers, and I always appreciated that. I never held that in resent, and so Grim accepted me full for into the Boar's Head podcast, and to meet Naya in the Boar's Head podcast, and then be welcomed into his server. And he has allowed me to join any of his streams anytime, whether drunk as a skunk or not. He always allows me to join and say my piece. So, and I mean, he'll cut me off or silence me when I get too rowdy, but which is totally understandable. But yeah, so those are my ramblings. Honestly, I really have a profound respect and admiration for both of those guys. I love those guys. Grim basically caught me when I was low. After I was actually, ironically, my channel was bigger than his when he caught me. When I lost my channel was bigger than his. And I still have yet to honestly reach that. I think there's a plateau for old guys like me to reach, to hit a spike at this point. Sometimes it's depressing, but other times it's sort of like, is what it is. I've met some great people here. And once again, I can name Grim and Naya, and I can name some people from the Mistcord. I have some great fans. I can name Misk himself. I can name Clover. I can name Neve. I can name Band and Fuse. I can name, I can name quite a few people that I've met that I fully enjoy. Bernice, that I enjoy interacting with, whether we talk every day or whether we talk every month. Like I'm about to see a buddy of mine that I haven't spoken to in 2 months, and he's probably one of my best friends. So I don't think speaking to someone every single day means that you don't care about them. You know what I mean? Like there's certain people, like I haven't spoken to Fuse, for example, from the Mistgard. I can't remember the last time I spoke to Fuse, but I would still count Fuse as a good buddy of mine. He's not my bestest friend in the whole world, but I would argue that he's a good friend. He and I get along. And I think if I said, "Hey, Fuse, man, what's going on?" Like, I would like to think that if Fuse was really going through something and he needed someone to talk to, he would be okay with, talking to me about it. I'd like to think that. So, yeah. I mean, that is the way of friendship. Friendship works in different stages through life, and I'm not saying you keep all your friends throughout your entire life. I've had friends throughout my life, and they do come and go. It sucks to say. Everyone says it, but it's true. I'm 31 years old, and I can honestly tell you, my best friends are not my best friends anymore. I can name 5 best friends I've had that I thought would be with me forever. They're not here anymore. I haven't talked to them in 20 years. So you definitely need to accept that that's going to happen. But as you get older later in life, you accept the fact that once older people meet friends, it's not such a... If 6 months goes by, it doesn't mean an end of a friendship. When you're 10 and you reach 11 and you haven't talked to someone, friendship's over. But if you're 20 and then someone reaches out when you're 22, you're like, hell yeah, I haven't seen you forever. Let's link up again. It's the way it works. Joseph said, it always sucks when a YouTuber's channel gets deleted. This happened to another YouTuber who I'm a big fan called The Flaming Shark. Lost his channel when he was at 200k. Well, that's a lot bigger than my 1k. Joseph said he's got a new channel, but he's only at 48k. No offense, I don't feel sorry for him because he got 48k starting a new channel. I was at 1k and I haven't reached that in 3 years. But I know that's still nothing to scoff at. By the way, you and him actually kind of remind me of each other. Well, mention him to me. Maybe him and I will collab. Is there anything he and I have interest in together? I don't mind doing collabs with other YouTubers. I'm totally good with doing things on their channel. It always boosts me, and you know that's all they can do. So I'll talk to the Flaming Shark. Sure. If he's cool with it, you know. I'm good with collabing with a guy who's higher than me. All he can do is boost me. And plus, I mean, I like talking to new people. I met a lot of friends doing that. Purple Tape said, you should make another channel for reactions for anime and manga. But I make reactions for anime and manga now. What reactions are you talking about, Purple Tape? But yeah, so we talked about being broke, talked about sports, talked about Grimm, talked about Naya. So I think we're pretty much at the end of the podcast. So that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody's getting schools with a full faculty, like Oprah always claimed. So yeah, so that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's what we're doing. So the Bitch, Moan, and Complain podcast number 2 is Broke, Sports, and Grim and Naya. And we covered all those topics for once. I wanted to talk about Kevin Conroy a little bit, but it's kind of old news, unfortunately. But just big shout out to both Kevin Conroy and David Frank, both the Batman of my heart and the best Power Ranger of all time. You know, I'm not a praying man by any respect or a religious man, but just, you know, everything, whatever you believe, goes out to them. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, anyways, that is what it is. That's the end of the podcast. Bitch, moaning, complaining, which is all I did. And all you guys did too. Once again, if you want to talk about anything going on in your life, I take requests. So for the next Bitch, Moan, and Complain podcast, once again, you can reach me by @ing me on the Discord. We won't be responding if some people might respond to it, but just add it at Griever, and then mention podcast, and then type your response, and boom, baby, I will be reading it aloud next podcast. Don't worry about it. Anything you want to talk about, girl troubles, life troubles, divorce troubles, school troubles, whatever you want to talk about, and I'll give you my 2 cents. So that is what it is. See you guys back here next time. Bitch, Moan, and Complain podcast number 3 will be on the horizon. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye-bye.